Every great story has a beginning, a once upon a time. For the story of evolution, that beginning takes place in a world we've never seen, under conditions we can only guess at. It begins in what they call the primordial soup. You know the story. It was a warm little pond, as Darwin imagined it. A cocktail of simple chemicals zapped by lightning or energized by the sun. Over millions of years, these chemicals supposedly linked together by chance formed the first complex molecules, and then, through some unexplained materialistic magic, the first living cell blinked into existence. It's a powerful image. It's the sacred myth of materialism. It's the scientific-sounding story that allows the entire evolutionary epic to begin. But what if the story isn't true? What if this primordial soup never existed? What if it's not a scientific hypothesis, but a scientific ghost story? Today, we're not talking about apes or dinosaurs. We're going to the very beginning, to Chapter 1. We're going to put the primordial soup on trial and see if it holds up to the laws of chemistry and physics. Let's start with the most basic problem, the atmosphere catch-22. The story requires a very specific atmosphere on the early Earth, one with no oxygen. Why? Because oxygen is corrosive. It would have immediately destroyed any simple organic molecules, a process called oxidation. It rusts molecules just like it rusts metal. Okay, so let's imagine a world with no oxygen. Problem solved, right? Wrong. Without oxygen, you have no ozone layer. And the ozone layer is the Earth's vital shield against the sun's high-frequency UV radiation. Without that shield, the same UV light that's supposed to help form these simple molecules would have shattered them to pieces in an instant. This is a fatal catch-22. With oxygen, you can't form the molecules. Without oxygen, you can't protect them. There is no escape. The ghost story hits a dead end before it even begins. Next problem, the ocean of nothing. Let's pretend for a moment that the atmosphere problem magically goes away. Now you have these simple molecules, like amino acids, forming in the ocean. The story says they need to find each other and link up to form proteins. But the early Earth's oceans would have been vast, incredibly vast. The concentration of any useful chemical would have been so ridiculously low, it would be practically zero. We're talking about an ocean of almost pure water. Expecting two specific amino acids to randomly find each other in this soup would be like trying to find two specific marked grains of sand on all the beaches of the entire world, and then expecting them to stick together, and then expecting a third and a fourth and 100th to find that exact same spot in the right order. The soup was never a concentrated broth in a warm pond. It was a hopelessly diluted ocean of nothing. Then there's the problem of the poisoned well. Even if, against all odds, you got some of the right chemicals, the soup would have been a chemical nightmare. The same energy that could form amino acids would also generate thousands of other useless or even toxic chemicals. Formaldehyde, cyanide, and a sticky, useless tar would have been the most common products. These wrong chemicals would have been millions times more abundant than the right ones. Any right molecule, like an amino acid that formed, would have been immediately contaminated, corrupted, or destroyed by reacting with this chemical sludge. The primordial soup wasn't a life-giving nursery, it would have been a poisoned, toxic well. And finally, the water paradox. This one is beautifully ironic. The very thing the story needs, water, is also its enemy. Life's most important molecules, like proteins and DNA, are long chains called polymers. The chemical reaction that links these chains together is called dehydration synthesis. It releases a water molecule. Now, what happens when you try to do a reaction that releases water inside of a massive body of water? The laws of chemistry, specifically Le Chatelier's principle, tell you that the reaction will go the other way. The surrounding water will attack and break the chains apart,
a process called hydrolysis. Trying to build long protein chains in the primordial soup is like trying to light a match in the middle of a rainstorm. The surrounding environment is actively working to destroy the very thing you're trying to build. So, where did this whole idea of a life-giving soup come from? You'll hear one name: the Miller-Urey experiment. In the 1950s, they zapped a mixture of gases and produced a few amino acids. This was hailed as proof. But here's what they don't tell you. The Miller-Urey experiment was a carefully, intelligently designed fraud. They used the wrong gases. They used a trap to protect the molecules from the same energy source that formed them, a feature that doesn't exist in nature. They started with purified, concentrated chemicals. In short, it took a team of brilliant scientists to prove that it takes a team of brilliant scientists to synthesize even a few of life's simplest building blocks. They proved the need for a mind. So let's be honest, the primordial soup is a fantasy. It's contradicted by the laws of chemistry. It's contradicted by the laws of physics. It's contradicted by the laws of probability. It's a story told to children in science class because the alternative, that life's origin requires a cause outside of nature, is an answer that materialism simply cannot allow. It's a ghost story, invented to hide from a reality that is staring us right in the face.